Hey, what is going on, you guys? My name is Rayge, and we are back today with a Nova Trials update on my difficulty 8 with 90 packs activated. So I made a video on the full walkthrough yesterday on how I was able to get through the 1.35 million points with just completing 9 nodes. However, some of you folks have reached out in regards to getting some gameplay, so I went back, redid it, because it didn't take me much time to get through it, to be honest. But more specifically, then I can show you guys at least my strategy that worked. More specifically, though, there are 2 nodes that are becoming big bottlenecks for this run through. And first one is this node 3, where you can see I was able to one-shot it, so got some really good gameplay on that and how the setup is set up. But as well, the second node here of the Masters of Evil requiring Quicksilver, so I was also able to one-shot that. But I wanted to showcase, at least for you guys, how my strategy was involved and the setup, right? Before the gameplay footage, there are some preparation heads up here that I would recommend if you guys are having issues. For example, in nodes 1, I want to switch things up. I brought in Kang here, just so that way he can set up his ultimate for the next node, and that does go a long ways, because then in the next node 2 here, you can actually use his ult right from the get-go and then set up all the cooldowns ready here. This setup here for mission 2 matters, because depending on how your cooldowns are, it's gonna play a tone in the next node, which is mission 6, right? And that is generally a pretty hard node if you don't have the right setup. The one thing I did mess up with my first video was that I forgot to actually switch Kang back to the striker. So you know, he should be a striker, because that way if you guys are going through here and looking at the packs, any of the striker characters that you utilize, they're going to be able to generate ability for killing an enemy. So you want that for sure. And as well, make sure your power cosmic is activated, so that way you are ensuring that the Masters of Evil gets their respective buffs. So that's the gameplay and setup. So having said that, guys, I think we can dive right in then. We'll first start things off here with the linchpin here being node 3, using this team right here, which is Robbie Reyes, Shang-Chi, Cloak and Dagger, and Squirrel Girl. And then we'll wrap things up here with my second attack here. Excuse me, with my second node attack on the Masters of Evil node. Let's get right to it. Now with this node previously, I did use some sack attempts, but I realized here that if you do have a right starting lineup that can soak up damage, you may not need that, right? So that's kind of why I wanted to see if I can one-shot it without the initial attempt. So you can see here, if you're able to at least get them to attack each and every one of your allies and hopefully not finish them off. Most of my team here is gear tier 16. The only exception is my Robbie Reyes that I'm bringing in for Dark Dimension 6. But you can see right after their abilities go off finally, that's the hardest part, right? Getting that to go. And then now finally Robbie has the highest speed, so hopefully you guys are able to take advantage as well. But ability block Loki there and actually finish them off. And then what you want is ideally Shang-Chi on the team, because then he can use his ultimate and actually, you know, take them down so easily, just because of the number of buffs that these War Dogs and Wakandans have. So that's kind of the gist of it. It probably took me about 5 to 6 resets to do it, to get the job done. But again, you're gonna need a couple of luck factors there for sure. And then while you're at it, then you can actually save your abilities now. You don't need to use their ultimates, because you can set this up for the next node requiring city hero characters. But again, it's all luck in the beginning, guys. I think it's meant for if you find that it's easier to sacrifice and bring in maybe web warriors or a team to soak up damage, it could make sense. But for me, I just wanted to see if it's possible to one-shot it soaking up damage, and it looks like it is, right? So ideally, there's no magic to it. It's really just the name of the game and trying to get the right RNG in the beginning there. So hopefully you guys are able to capitalize on that. But what definitely helped was having a strong Robbie Reyes to clean up, and then the rest of my team is gear tier 16, level 85. Next up, this is the Masters of Evil second node here, and then again, we're bringing in Quicksilver because we do need his abilities and his debuffs. Absorbing Man is basically the odd man out, unless you one of these allies that you used in node 2, you know, they have low HP. But what I did for survivability wise is I actually used Ultron and Quicksilver with fortifiers just to kind of keep them stronger, because my team is lower level. But we start things off with Kang's ultimate there, and then we go ahead, we ability block the Gambits. Now I just get used to this fact. Someone is gonna fall in this initial turn. It may not be Ultron, but in this case it is for me. But someone's gonna fall because double gambits pinging constantly. Unless you have a team that's higher than gear tier 15 on one of your fellow Masters of Evil, someone will fall as a sacrifice. So for me, it was Ultron. That's why I thankfully was able to use his clones a bit, get some at least some supportive capabilities there. Now, I can't stress this enough, guys. It's extremely important to have the ISO 8 striker on Kang for this node, because what we're going to be relying on is him finishing off all these allies, and then he's going to be getting energy back, so essentially rinsing and repeating his ultimate. And now another key player in this node is Quicksilver, because of his debuffs that he can grant, the speed advantage that he has. And again, you want striker on Kang because you want him finishing off as many enemies as possible. And thankfully now we finally clean up that Gambit corner there. Couldn't really do much of it there, but ideally you should be left with these Mighty Thors on the left side. Take your time with them. The next wave does spawn. It's going to be like a synergy of this Unlimited X-Men team, Emma Frost, and on top of that, having Phoenix. Now, again, when you have any opportunity to do so, I highly recommend using Kang's ultimate. The Grog thankfully did not drop yet, and now she does with Dazzler on this final wave. And again, we're going to be ready to go here with this energy because of how we finished off everyone. Ideally, if you have any ability controlling, we want to slow down and control Rogue, just because if she gets her special off, it might be a wipe for you. You may not be able to get through it unless you also have a gear tier 18 Kang like myself. So there you guys have it. We go ahead, we finish off another enemy there. The special, we're close to the ultimate right there, and that's kind of why we want to be focusing his damage as much as possible. And we do finish off Phantom X there, leaving both Dazzler and now just Rogue. So again, I really like the combination of this team because there's a lot of debuffs on the team and they can control. And once again, for the final time, the Kang ultimate. So we were able to use his ultimate 3 times because the striker ISO 8 was on him and equipped, and that's ideally what you want to be using for the second node. Makes it quick, easy. I think just getting over that first initial barrier, that knowing that one of your allies will be falling from the gambits, and then once you come to facing facts with that, it's actually not a bad node whatsoever. And it's the last one that you'll be needing Masters of Evil, because finishing 7, 8, and 9 will get you the 1.35 million points at 90 packs. So hope this helps you guys. Hopefully this is good for friends if you're following through. Thank you, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.